Our next element is about visibility, and I think we've talked probably the most about this in our recent Mentor Collective education program, so I'm going to try and cover this at a high level. It needs to be this visible and integrated aspect of the student experience. Students need to know about the mentorship opportunities available to them, the many of them, if there are many. So integrating branding and your nomenclature and your culture into that, so that it feels like part of your authentic insert institutional mascot or name experience. This could be simply about phrasing and logo and colors. It could be about the marketing materials, could be about the t-shirts that people wear when they're mentors. I just want to share briefly one of the many, many examples of branding. So Cal Poly Pomona, they call it Bronco Navigators. They don't call the mentorship program Bronco Navigators. They call the whole student experience in the beginning navigating being a Bronco, right? So that feels very much like part of the first year experience and not like a separate thing. Like getting a mentor is just one of the many things I get to do as a new student at Cal Poly Pomona. And it's part of being a Bronco. And there's lots of other great names and brands we've heard, but this is where I think confusing it into what you already have at your institution can be really helpful, which really goes back to the integration in the student experience. We're going to touch on this a lot with Chad at Assumption later, which is going into your orientation programs or your matriculation programs or your other key transition points, not necessarily always thinking this is a separate initiative that needs its own events or its own elements. To really make it as visible as possible where students already are. The next element of visibility is putting this in the student voice as well. So thinking about students talking to other students or participants talking to other participants. This could be your alumni helping recruit other alumni mentors. It could be your student participants helping other graduate students know why they should participate. But really thinking about that particular student voice. The most common thing that we see are these personal stories. So this is just 2 screenshots. We recommend this to all our institutions, but I want you all to click on this link from UC Davis BioLunch because this story about this mentor-mentee pair and how they texted all summer and then they finally decided to meet in person and they sat and talked for 3 hours and now they're both fully engaged student leaders. This is really the color and commentary that helps with the visibility of the mentorship program as part of the overall UC Davis experience. And then similarly, Georgia Tech on their website, you can see this. Erica Mendez is talking about being a mentor and what it means to her to be part of the First Gen Jackets program. I want to share something we've seen a trend in lately. This is a snippet from a recent presentation that we've done about helping students tell the story to other students as leaders. And for that, I'm going to share a clip from Mark Myers, who's the director of New Student and Family Transitions at Augusta University. How do they connect with students in the student voice?
We're really fortunate to have a graduate assistant that she was able to kind of split her time between our orientation programs and our mentorship program. And integrating mentorship has been the form of the university. And so they have come up with lots of like very cute and clever marketing campaigns. I think right now they're doing like Instagram reels that they go to and that we have our orientation leader, our student coordinators go out with like a mini mic series and ask people that are mentors and mentees what their experiences and why they should get involved. Something that I'm super excited about that I think is going through this week. We do have starting a JAG for JAG student organization as well, which will have a club structure to also help this really be driven by students for students. Because right now, the last year, I think I have a lot of really creative ideas, but when I've given them to my students, they're able to take them to the next level.
So again, going back to that participant-centric element, for students, by students, engaging the students in these decision makings about where this goes next. Mark is really getting a lot more out of, Augusta is getting a lot more out of this program by tapping into the students themselves.
We do.
And then finally, mentor recognition is one of those simple but very powerful things that an institution can do, is to appreciate and recognize the role that mentors play. And so when we think about that culture of mentorship, a culture of mentorship means that mentors feel valued, they feel seen, they feel important, they feel like their impact makes a difference. And there are many small ways one can do that: public appreciation and recognition, helping mentees write thank you notes to mentors, hosting recognition events or inviting mentors to student leadership ceremonies, inviting them to meet the dean or the VP for coffee on a regular basis, giving them pins or cords or other types of things. So here are two wonderful examples that were very easy for me to find because they were quite public. But the University of Delaware sends this, frankly, quite adorable little kit to their mentors, a pin of being a UDEL mentor, these little cookies that are branded, a handwritten thank you note. And you can see this mentor went to this is an alumni mentor, went to their LinkedIn page to talk about how much that meant to them. And then also here you see the lead champion of mentorship at Baypath, Crystal Center Brown, gets her update email about what's going on in her mentorship program. She sees a mentor on that as an example, and she immediately goes to LinkedIn to say, thank you so much for everything that you do for our students. So this is really putting that recognition and celebration in the limelight.